I'm Keely Eure with offensive lineman Liam Jimmons. Liam, it's a weird season, but you're back playing football. How does it feel?
It's good. It's good to be back. You always miss football, especially during these crazy times of COVID and being not by your teammates, not being around, not allowed to be with your friends all the time and stuff like that sucks. But good to be back with the team and getting some good practices in.
What was it like for you? You come back for one March spring practice and then the world kind of pauses. What was it like for you to kind of get your bearings over quarantine and stay in shape?
Yeah, staying in shape was probably the hardest part. It's just because you don't have the same resources and facilities that you usually have. So it was kind of just put on you. The hardest part was like coming back and getting used to the tempo of what Double A wants us to do, right? Because like when you're by yourself, it's a little harder to push yourself to compared to other, because you don't have anyone next to you to compare yourself to or to push yourself. So it was good coming back and set the tempo and figure out where you need to be at.
So how do you feel now? It seems like from we can't see practice, but from the videos and pictures we get, it looks like you're getting run with the first team. How do you feel and how's that going?
Yeah, it's good. Jeffco's really good. We have really good offensive linemen this year. I mean, the young guys are really showing that they can also have a really good chance to play this year. So, I mean, I'm still fighting for a spot. I'm still trying to get my play time this year. We have really good returners on the offense this year. We have a lot of leaders. I think that's the biggest part. So, from Drevno to Brett Nealon to Keaton Slovis, Eric Cromanhunk, all that stuff, they all help each other in the ways that setting the tempo, stuff like that. So, sorry about my dog. She likes to bark all the time.
You're fine.
But yeah, it comes down to like leadership right now and just setting an example for the young guys and like trying to show like how the offense works and the tempo of the offense.
And you mentioned your time at right guard. You got some playing time last year. You got two starts under your belt. How do you feel coming in and battling for that starting spot?
Yeah, I mean, it was good to get those reps last year. It really helped me a lot my first year really playing offensive line. I think that coming into this year, it's just I got to come in open-minded again, just like I'm a brand new offensive lineman. Just trying to master technique, master the basic fundamentals and everything. I mean, Drevno is he's hounding me right now about everything. I think he wants to make sure I know what I'm doing every play. Drevno's really good with that stuff, and all the other offensive linemen are really good with like helping each other and talking about each play after the play, on the sideline and stuff like that. So I think we have a really good core group of offensive linemen, and we're just trying to get the young guys, to buy the program and get along. Because we never know who's going to go down. Unfortunately, someone's going to go down eventually, so someone's going to have to step up.
You mentioned Drebno's hounding you. What's that relationship like with him, and how is he coaching you up so far?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't say anything bad about Jevno. He's probably the best coach I've had in college. He's really good about detail oriented, and making sure everyone knows what's going on in each play. Our playbook is pretty simple. As he helps us really make sure we execute every play, right? So I couldn't say anything bad about Jevno. I love. He's probably my favorite coach I've had. But yeah, Jevno, he's a funny character. He's always fun to be around. Nothing's really boring about him. So yeah, he's a great coach.
You guys got Elijah Bear Tucker back after he opted out. What did that do for just the line and adding that experience back into that grouping?
Oh, it's always good to have Elijah back. I mean, he's great talent. He has so much potential. It's actually amazing. You see him practice the way he moves and the way he practices. He's on a different level. It's good to have him back, but we were already a step up, make that take the left tackle, left guard spot. But having him back is just that experience level, and that that's a solid spot he can represent on the offensive line. It really helps.
Coming into this season, I think USC fans were a little concerned about the offensive line just because you lost a Austin Jackson, a Drew Richmond. But it seems like just from talking to coaches and players, you guys seem pretty confident in this new offensive line. How do you feel about the ones and how you guys look?
I think we look really good. I mean, nothing's set in stone, right? Everything's etched in sand. There's no ones, there's no twos yet. There's no depth chart out, but I'm sure Helton will talk about that eventually. But I think the guys that I'm playing with, like J Mac and Andrew Voorhees, Brett Nealon, Elijah, Justin Dedich, Liam. I mean, I can't say anything bad about any of the guys. I think we feel really good. We're really confident in our ability to make a statement. We're in the quote unquote air raid offense, but I think we'll be able to run the ball really well this year. We have really good backs. We got really good receivers. I think we're all bought in for the whole package this year. I think we're going to be a really, really good offense, no matter who's in.
We've seen guys before switch from one side of the ball to the other, defense, offense, vice versa. You are one of those guys. You started out with the defense, and sometimes when guys switch positions, they kind of get lost in the depth chart, and it never really pans out. It seems like it's working for you. What has been the difference that you really stood out flipping sides of the ball?
I think from the get-go, I think me just being on the same page with Helton, I really bought in. Thinking that Helton really thought I could be a really good offensive lineman. I think Drevno has brought me along. I couldn't ask for a better offensive line coach. I think just the general course of how it's been and how I've just kept my mind to it, determined to be a good offensive lineman. I don't give up on stuff. I wasn't trying to get lost in the depth chart. I was just trying to really become the best offensive lineman I could. Just use my experience on defensive line to my advantage. Knowing how defensive line's going to move and what they're trying to do on defense. I think that's what really helped me.
Yeah. Do you think that you have an advantage just because you know kind of the mindset of who you're facing against?
Yeah, of course. I played with Marlon. I played with Brand. I played with all the guys we're playing with right now against. We're not in the same defense, but I think I just know the general rules and techniques a defensive lineman has when they're playing gaps and what their responsibilities on each play. So I can always take that to advantage. But I think actually this year it actually kind of opened my eyes. There's a lot more offensive line technique to not counter defensive linemen, but just knowing what they're going to do and when they're going to do it to make sure you're in the right position.
Mm-hmm. As far as that defensive front you're going up against, they're missing Jay Tufele. He opted out. How have you seen them kind of adjust, and what are you seeing from that front and going against them in practice?
Yeah, the biggest thing I've seen is the young guys really stepping up. We see Thule in there. Jamar is doing really good. Caleb, he's been hurt, so it's good to see him back. It's good to see. Once Drake Jackson gets back, you're good to see him. But I think in every position, no matter what, safeties, corners, whatever, I think the young guys are really going to step up this year. We got a good recruiting class. So I think those guys are going to see a lot of playing time this year, and I think they're really going to help us. It's good to see, Marlon. Marlon's always Marlon's probably the best defensive lineman we have right now. But I think that going against them every day, good on good, is going to help us a lot. And especially the young guys, Jonah and Casey. It's good to see. It's good to go against young, good talent all the time.
Yeah, you mentioned the freshmen, and we've heard from the coaches as well. The freshman offensive linemen are kind of standing out. What have you seen from a Jonah or a Cortland, and what has it been like practicing with them?
It's actually really awesome. When we first came in, I think it was June or July when we came back, and we're like, those are freshmen. They're big bodies, and it's gonna be really good. It's really cool to see them, develop. Cortland and Casey and Jonah. All the young guys, really, they're all looking really good, really solid. We're just trying to, they're just like a young offensive lineman in college. They're still getting used to more physical talent, the bigger guys. I think they're really catching on along really fast. I think Jonah's going to be really good. I really think all offensive linemen have a really good chance to play this year. Just, depends on how the cards play out and then, how the depth chart ends up. But I'm confident whoever goes in, to be able to execute.
We've heard that there's been a change in practice, increase in physicality. Is that something that you're seeing in practice?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think these first 2 weeks of camp, Helton was really trying to push physicality, and we were in full pads. I think we were in full pads more than we were in shells or shorts or anything like that. I think that the physicality is needed. I know Tar Orlando's he's tackling in certain periods. When we're doing a scout team and stuff like that. I think that it's going to be good. It's going to make us tackle better. It's going to make the offense, block longer, hold our blocks longer. The defensive, running backs, run for a couple extra yards. I think it's good. It's always tackling never hurts, So.
Yeah. So one of my favorite things of practice was watching the one-on-one battles. And so since we can't see practice, can you give us a sense of what those battles are like? And has anyone been like the king of one-on-one battles so far?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's a king. I mean, I know Elijah Vera Tucker. He's probably I call him Clamp City just because he has amazing hands. He's like really, he's probably the best offensive lineman in my eyes. Um, if it's Elijah, it's probably the king of one-on-ones. But I think there's a really good talent on both sides. I love going against Marlon. I love going against Keely. I mean, there's a lot of good offensive linemen, good talent. I think it's fun. I think it goes either way every day. I mean, the one-on-ones it's all based off technique, and what type of player you're going against. So I think one-on-one really shows who's the boss, but it goes either way every play. I mean, me and Marlon are probably even. I mean, there's so much different talent, different type of guys that go against each other. It's really hard to tell who's the king.
Yeah. Now, I remember back in the day interviewing you at Huntington Beach High School. You were much smaller, much younger.
Okay.
What would you tell your younger self now, knowing what you know these past couple years as a Trojan?
Shoot. Well, knowing if I knew I was going to be able to lineman, put some more weight on. I'd probably tell myself to be just more determined. Just set myself to a goal. I think that I came into college, as a low recruit. I didn't really know where I was at on the depth chart. I didn't. I mean, I knew it was on the low part of the depth chart. I didn't really know like what the coach really thought of me. So I think if I just had a goal set in mind, I should have just had more determination to like set that goal and be master my technique better, stuff like that. But I don't regret anything. I was a young kid, 260 pounds. I'm 60 pounds later, so I think that no, I have no regrets. But there's always some stuff that I could always wish I did.
In that sense, what are your goals for this season? Even though it's a weird season, what are you looking for?
Pac-12 championship. That's the minimum. I think I think the entire team is set for that. We're gonna go 6-0. I mean, it's right, 6-0, and then 7 games. The seventh game is Pac-12, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think if we go 6-0, and then the seventh game Pac-12 championship, and go from there. I think that's our mindset right now. That's the minimum. So I think the entire team is ready to do that this year.
All right. Well, good luck this season.
Thank you so much.
For Liam Jimmons, I'm Keely Eure. For more, check out uscfootball.com.